Welcome to this week's edition of Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Cheng. Among the key Millennium Development Goals laid out by the United Nations, women's issues are one of such very important issues. However, women are only issues or problems that we have to face or address. As a matter of fact, many women leaders are now serving as a very important driving forces for the development of the future of the world. So what are the roles of women in this globalized world, and what are the problems we are facing and they are facing right now? So today's program, we are very delighted and honored to invite a very important and very influential women leader in Taiwan. And she's a very senior journalist, and she has been involved in the NGO activities in Taiwan for many, many years. And she's Cheng. Christine, welcome to our program.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Lo. It's nice to be here.
Yeah. And Ms. Cheng is currently the advisor to National Women's League in Taiwan. Could you tell us more about National Women's League?
Okay, the National Women's League actually was set up 50 years ago, half of the century, by Madame Chiang Kai-shek. At that time, she thought, those wives of the high-ranking officers, their husband actually get paid from the government. They should come out and serve the society and serve the people, doing the volunteer jobs.
That's right.
So those women are actually serving as a volunteer for their lifetime, because their husband works for the government. And they're doing the service on the military, building up houses for those military people. And they're sewing the clothes for the military people, soldiers. They also help build up schools to educate those descendants from the war. The veterans.
Right.
And also they're doing the. I think it's a handicap center for those handicapped kids to help them to improve their listening capability. Yeah. Nowadays, they become serve the Women's Association among those financially give them support and also technically give them support. And many of the women's organizations in Taiwan actually get financial support from National Women's League. They also provide tuition shift for those those families who their parents is out of job and they need support from the society. Yeah. Every year they probably spend maybe hundreds of thousands on those kids.
Scholarship and so on.
Yes.
But as we know that as a result of liberalization and democratization in Taiwan, there are increasing number of NGOs in Taiwan. And many NGOs cover also women's issues. Do you have any sort of division of labor among all the women's NGOs?
Actually, according to a record or figures, by 1995, there are about more than 800 NGOs, the people in Taiwan they have involved with. Among them, I think there are only 15 are women, the women or family or youth or kids. And those 15 women's organizations, probably the number is increasing a little bit. Yeah. But women are very active, even though they are not a member of the United Nations. For instance, there are quite a few, like we have an NCW, which means National Council for Women. Why we have this National Council for Women is because we have to have this organization. Then we can become members of ICW. ICW is the International Council for Women. Yeah. We call it the highest ranking women's organization under the United Nations NGO.
But that's a non-governmental organization.
Non-governmental. Yeah. And the reason we have to involve with those NGOs because the United Nations actually they have a women's fund at the United Nations. That fund provides financial and technical assistance to innovative programs and strategies for women to empowerment and the gender equalities. Yeah. That's why if we are a member of that organization, we can get all the information, direct or indirect, from the United Nations regarding to women's movement. And second, actually UNIFEM, because they link worldwide, women worldwide. So we actually can, through that channel, to link us and make us a big connection, a bridge across to the women around the world.
But we know that Taiwan is not a member, or ROC is not a member of the UN, but NCW is a part of, under the umbrella of the ICW. Does the absence of Taiwan from the UN system, hurt your participation in the process of the NCW?
That's a big problem for us, whenever there's international activities, we go, even the NCW, because ICW, they are considering to let China in. But the thing is, we say, okay, you let China in, but we won't get out because we are, we have the right and we are the full member of that organization.
But if there's a vote or something that could, decide to expel Taiwan?
There's not vote yet, but 3 years ago in Morocco, actually there's an international, that's a year, I think it's a conference. We have 3 delegates to go to Morocco. The first day in the morning, they're sitting in the General Assembly. In the afternoon, the president of that organization come to our delegates say, well, because the complaint by Chinese embassy in Morocco, so you can go shopping and don't ever come back to the the floor again.
Really?
So they're out. But this time they go and they are okay because the president won't run re-election. They need support from Taiwan because Taiwan has recruited lots of members, I mean a lifelong member, a permanent member, because each member have to pay like $2,000 fee, which is not easy for most of the women. Taiwan are very strong in this part.
But for many viewers, they may be confused because to be a non-governmental organization, supposedly we should leave politics out of non-governmental activities. But apparently China has been trying to play politics in this NGO forum. Do you think that's a healthy development for the NGO developers in general?
It's not only China. I think some of the countries do that too. And they just they just automatically want to do something to please China. That's the point. Because we face that kind of problem. Because I remember once, we're in the international conference. The delegates from the Philippines raise up and say, well, we've been talking about let China in. 10 years has gone by. Why there's no delegates from China yet? It doesn't look like international activities. And I remember once I think in Jordan, when they put Taiwan, they say China/Taiwan. When I look at the record, I just go to the head of the Asian region. I say, what do you mean by China/Taiwan? Because they say China/Macau, China/Hong Kong.
That's right.
I say, why China/Taiwan? And that American response immediately, that has nothing to do with politics. I just told her that's end of politics.
That's right.
Okay, and she told me again. She said, "Is that bothering you?" I said, "Of course it's." She said, "I know you want to go back and make a report to your country. Can you just cover that up?" I said, "I cannot." So I went to the president of the world president again. The president told me, "I know you want to go back and make a report. I'll change it. I'll make change for you."
But do you feel that many countries or even NGOs are now kowtowing to China and to please China and try to downgrade Taiwan, in expense?
Of course, it's because all the NGOs are facing one problem: the declining of their membership. And they look China as a big sources. My goodness.
Market as well.
My goodness, it's 1.3 billion people. Okay, they can have thousands to become members, but. So nobody will ignore that the number of the people or the potential members, and nobody want to ignore that. Economic strength again. So you say kowtow, it is.
But the thing is, people have been saying that we should bring China into the world in order to change China. But the thing I'm saying is that actually China is changing the world by setting up rules, and people are now kowtowing to China to set new rules for China.
There's one ironical thing. Of course, they want China change the world, but their people are not feeling the same way. I mean, for instance, Girl Scout. We're doing all the international camping activities all the time around the world. Like this time, Boy Scout, they went to England. Taiwan sent 500 scouts to London. They bring big flags all over London.
Our national flags?
National flags. And no scouts from mainland China.
Really? They chose not to participate?
Because they just don't want their young men to join the big crowd with the free exchanging of point of view and
exposure to the outside world.
Right. And you get the new idea from the outside world. It's difficult to control.
Pollution, I guess.
Right, polluted.
But the thing is, China has been saying they want to win the hearts and minds of people in Taiwan. But with this kind of isolation strategy on the part of Beijing, are they pushing Taiwan away from China?
Every time when I return home from whatever the international activities, I just go home and say, I want Taiwan to be independent. I want to join the independent movement. I remember once in Hong Kong, the president of Girl Scout is from England, United Kingdom. They are talking about our status again. I say, forget about it. China is not here, and the young pioneer is not Girl Scout.
Yeah.
All right, you see they're wearing a red scarf, but that's not Girl Scouts. And they are a government organization. It's not NGOs.
That's right. They call it Congo, government organized or government owned.
Congo, it's not Congo.
That's right.
And they just won't do it every time. I just tell him, I say, you know what? You're doing this make China unhappy because if you push us harder, then we want to be independent. More. So China probably were not happy with what you are doing.
But apparently in this globalized world, it's in the interest of China, but also in the interest of the whole world that to have Taiwan in, right? For instance, in the World Health Organization, in many of the environmental issues, Taiwan should be part of it. It serves the interest of Taiwan, but also serve the whole world. Why don't the rest of people of the rest of the world appreciate that kind of reality?
You know what? They want China in, but they didn't want to kick Taiwan out. That's for sure. Some of the women leaders from different countries sometimes just come to you directly and say, work harder. Don't let China beat you down. And, all right. So you get friendship all around the world, and lots of people they just don't like communist China. I mean the people from Beijing. So we have a lot of friends. The thing is how we keep those friendships and how we make those friendships stronger.
What's your suggestion? What's the best way to win friendship from other countries?
Okay, number one, I think we need strong leadership, and also I think we need government support. And the NGO, actually, each NGO has its own evaluation system. By their headquarters at UN. So every other year, they will go around and give you the evaluation sheet, see what you've been doing.
So you have to prove yourself.
Yeah, they rank you. They give you grades. And so you have to, make your organization function well, financial sufficient, membership going up, and also the ego to participating all the international activities. Also, hosting international activities, programs, it's very important. But Taiwan, I think, when we consider about become the host country, we'll think about we don't have enough people who speak the languages, and also short of, expenses. I mean, the financial problem.
That's right.
And also, when you organize the whole thing, the NGOs are not, we don't have enough manpower, women power or manpower.
Right.
It's difficult.
Yeah, but apparently the capacity building is very important, and the NGO cannot do it by itself, by themselves. They need help from the government and from other NGOs in other countries as well. Do you think that the networking on the part of Taiwan is good enough now to really reach out to other countries?
Sometimes when we go out and we see some other countries' government, we really feel ashamed of ourselves. For instance, Korea. I mean, I was in Korea for a workshop, for training for leaders. And there's a professor come over, give a speech on how to get involved with NGOs. And he's a professor from Kyung-hee University in Seoul, Korea, from the Graduate School of NGO studies.
I see. There's a school for that?
Yeah, a graduate school.
Uh-huh.
And you know, they have a whole whole speech was telling you what is NGO, how do you get involved with NGOs, what NGO is functioning, and you know what they are function, how do you get elected to the board, and how do you hosting the those NGO conference, and they take it very seriously, and whenever you go to the international activities, the Korean embassy people will stand by.
Yeah.
And
so they're full support from the Korean government.
Right.
Of the
and
NGOs.
if they wanted to run, and the embassy will give a big party to host all the delegates to win the vote. You know, when you see that, you will never. I never found any our embassy people surrounding us. Once in a while, they probably give me a call and say, "Well, welcome to this place. Do you need any help, or I can take you to do shopping,
all the time,
or I can invite you for dinner or something like that."
Yeah, but apparently you make a very good point by saying that leadership is really important. Yeah. Leadership on the part of government and on the part of the NGO as well. So when we come back, we will talk about a women leader in the field of NGO and also the women leaders in general in Taiwan. And let's take a short break. We'll be right back.